Hello and welcome to Great Craps. So where do you get chips for your craps table at home? And how many do you buy? It's a pretty easy answer. Go to your local store, Walmart, Target, Amazon, and you buy the basic dice patterned poker chips. The reason I like these so much is they're easy to find, and you can find them pretty easily on Facebook Marketplace for resale as well, just to stock out your bank. Don't go spending a bunch of money on expensive clay Paulson chips or anything like that that the poker players like to use for their customized home tables. We're just starting out, we're just learning the game, we're trying to invest for as little as possible here, so go buy the basic chips. Even Casino Quest has these chips on their tables. It's easy to get light colors in the additional colors you need, like purples and yellows in smaller quantities from Amazon. And they also have the same pattern or about the same size. Even though they may be a slightly different manufacturer, you can make them fit on your craps table that you might build at home. I also like these because they're about the same weight and size as your normal casino chips at just about any casino. And you need to get a feel for these chips in your hand when you're learning how to play, especially when you're first learning how to play. So let's talk about it a little bit more, and I'll start with my favorite spot to get your starter set right now. Okay, so any Walmart game section, you're looking for these guys right here. Cardinal Classics poker chips. One stack. Here at my local Walmart, they're $10.97. You get 100 poker chips. That's easy math. It's about 11 cents a chip. Minus the blue ones, because you won't use those, give or take. So that's your starting point if you're going to be buying chips on Facebook Marketplace. Don't buy this 300 piece set because it does not have enough reds and greens. It's only got 150 row of reds and 150 row of greens. Way too many whites. You're going to need reds and greens on your craps table, so don't buy that one. Instead, either go on Amazon or go to Target and get their 400 piece set. It'll do you much better. And a little hack about these: if you don't have a chip collection already and you want to have a quick craps night, then invite all your friends and have them go to Walmart and buy one of these. If everybody brings one, you should have enough chips to play by the time it's all said and done. It's only $10 or so, and they usually have enough in stock to cover, 5 to 10 friends. Not that you're going to have 10 friends over to play craps all at the same time, but 4 to 6 is more realistic. Especially if you're just starting out, you're not experienced enough as a dealer yet to deal to that many people, so 4 is about right. So when you buy these chips in the boxes like this is what you get. Go ahead and unbox this guy real quick and show you. They come preloaded with a stack of hundreds, that's 20, stack of greens, so blacks, greens, whites, blues, and reds. You're gonna take these blues, toss them. We don't use blues in craps. And then the next thing I always do is organize the rack somewhat properly so they're in order. If you buy the case like this, the 400 piece case from Target or online, it's Cardinal Classics. The name may have changed slightly, but it's going to come with 4 of these racks inside. Same setup. Get rid of the blues, and that will cost you about $30 for 400 chips. Now, if you do the math on that, that's about 7 cents a chip. And so if you're buying them online, again, either on Facebook Marketplace or elsewhere online like Amazon, that's a good mark for per chip cost. If you can get below that, you're doing good. Now, this case is empty because I have used it for my bank in the back. And of course it's sold as a poker set. So it'll come with some cards and some of the cheapy dice. But you can see I've already filled my bank.
So if you look at any actual casino table's bank, you'll notice they're usually 3 or 4 rows deep by 4 or 5 rows wide in whites, reds, greens, and then blacks get a little less, and then purples and yellows or oranges get even less than that. In my case, I went with 3 rows deep, and then because I built this bank after I built my table, I added the bank later and didn't think this through when I built it. My measurements are a little bit off, and so I can't quite fit another row of whites on either side, and I don't tend to use whites that much in my play, so I have fewer whites in my bank. But other than that, I went with 2 rows of reds and greens and blacks on either side of center, and purples and yellows in the middle, and then those flags, the red, white, and blue ones, and the maroons in the center are my high dollar chips. So purples are 500s on my table, yellows are thousands, the flags are 5,000s, and the maroons are 10K each. And the rest are standard colors. So when you're thinking about building your table, make sure you measure the width of the chips. They're about 1.5 inches, just slightly over 1.5 inches, more like 1 5/8 inches wide if you get these standard chips. So make sure you're counting for how many rows wide and how many deep you want your bank to be so that they fit nice and evenly in there, and think about inside dimensions when you're doing this.
So the question is, how many chips should you buy? Well, when you're first starting off learning the game, I would recommend just buying 2 of these. It'll cost you about 20 bucks, and you'll have 1 rack to play with and 1 rack to pay with. When you're first learning the game, you're not really going to make any big winnings, so it's kind of a back and forth and a grind, and that's plenty to start off with just playing by yourself. If you want to spend 10 more bucks and get more chips, go ahead and buy the case, because it'll come with 4 racks. But the reason I say start with these 2 is later, when you're committed more, go ahead and buy the case, because now you can do 4 players and have enough to play effectively 4 players and pay the bank. And it'll look like this. $500 buy-in for each of the 4 players, and you can play 2 sides of the table and have plenty in the middle to start your payouts with. You're going to run a little bit short on reds, which are your 5s, but that's okay, because you're going to have some early losers that'll restock your bank, and you'll be able to pay just fine out of that, or make change with your greens that you have. And if you bought the extra rack to start with, now you've got those as well, in addition to the ones from the case. So the case plus 2 racks, plenty to play, 4 players, have your friends over, enough for you to handle to deal when you're just learning to deal, not a problem. Now, after you get comfortable and you get more of your friends into this game and get more people over, by all means, go for the big bank. And I would recommend, once again, Facebook Marketplace. People post these all the time. Poker players are always getting rid of their chips as they tire of their game. And so you'll find some really good deals on the larger cases that have rows of 50 in them, and more colors, more of the reds that you need usually in those. And reds seem to be the most that you need when you're paying out and doing your payouts with new players, because they want to stick to the smaller denominations. So that's it. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it. And let me know in the comments what you have on your table for your bank. And so thanks for watching. Great craps.